Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hood's Lincoln Park. I'm your host, Jessica New. Today we're doing a series on the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago, and we'll be discussing Lincoln Park attractions that have a local and small business mindset. Lincoln Park is the perfect place to represent small businesses and local fare in Chicago. It is made up of primarily urban professionals, young families, college students, and recent graduates. Many of these places are quaint little shops and restaurants that represent Lincoln Park small businesses by using local vendors and being involved in their community. Our first store can be found nestled in Lincoln Park on Armitage Avenue. All She Wrote caters to anyone who is in need of invitations, cards, and announcements. Having been around for over a decade, this local business prides themselves in customer loyalty. Let's take a look.
All She Wrote. We sell stationeries and cards and everything written. Megan, our owner, has an obsession with paper. She owned a bookstore in Sarasota, Florida before she moved to Chicago, and she just needed to keep that paper alive. So here we sell everything from baby announcements to holiday cards to wedding invitations, just all things written, all things paper, and good quality paper is not that easy to come by. I got to come into this lovely store a year ago when I was brought in to help our owner just keep it running smoothly.
All She Wrote also sells gifts for every celebration and holiday.
I love all things personal, so there are a lot of different ways to get that done here. We have down pillows that you can order to your specifications. You can order crystal barware. You can order frames that are etched with something personal. We do monogramming on site. My favorite memory so far in this year has been the day we had the Monogram Mimosa event. We were offering free monograms, and it was a Saturday. It was jam-packed from the moment we opened until the time we closed in the evening. It was a fun, festive day, and it was right at the cusp of springtime breaking out, so it was a great day. To be part of the Lincoln Park neighborhood is such a gift. It's such a small community within a big city, and it's really supported and loved by the locals, and we really want that to continue. We want to continue to be active in the community and know the neighborhood and see people walking down the streets and know who they are, and that's important to us.
Today in the studio, we have David Zoltan and Laura Green with us from Chicago Magazine voted Top 5 Bars in Chicago, Geek Bar, to discuss what makes Geek Bar unique and a great place for college students to visit. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Good. All happy and jolly and merry, right? So tell us a bit about this Geek Bar. How did this get started?
Well, back in 2012, I was sitting there and they had just announced the new season of Doctor Who, the last one with Matt Smith. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it be great if I could go somewhere and watch this with a bunch of my friends, a bunch of the other Whovians in town, because there are tons of people who love Doctor Who all across the city, but where do we go? You can throw a stone down any street in Chicago and hit a half dozen faux Irish bars and sports bars, but there is no place for geeks to go. Right. And I realized that I had a big idea there. I started talking to a bunch of people on Facebook and what have you, and they said, I want a place like this too. And it became very clear that there was a huge hole in the marketplace for geeks. So This is a place for geeks, dorks, dweebs, nerds of all kinds. We welcome and celebrate and foster geekdom in all its forms at Geek Bar, and want to make sure that we're creating a place where people feel welcome.
That's so nice. You came up with this brilliant idea for everybody just to enjoy. And then, so how did you get involved in the project?
So, long time nerd. I had worked in quite a few bars. I got into craft cocktailing, working as a bartender, and decided to get a little creative. So when it was slow behind the bar, I would tweet out to my followers to give me different ideas about a character, a nerd character, or maybe a movie or Ghostbusters or a video game or whatever. And then within an hour, I came up with a new cocktail, and I would tweet it out with a photo and a recipe. And so that was a lot of fun. So I started doing that, started creating menus, and then I had a friend reach out to me who also knows David, and he said, you two should talk. And, and here we are.
It went well.
It went well, yeah.
Yeah, that worked out. It was like a nice meeting of the two. Wow.
Yeah.
So then at the bar, can you have games and different things for customers to enjoy?
We try and span the entire gamut of geek culture, from science to science fiction, from fantasy to technology, comic books. We're in fact showing Guardians of the Galaxy on the big screen to this Friday at 7 o'clock. We've got all sorts of great stuff going on all the time. We've got open gaming, great Chicago companies like Cards Against Humanity, and some other big stuff from all around the country and all around the world are in our game library, and we encourage you to bring your own games as well. We've got authors who are going to be coming in to do talks. We have drink and draws and drink and drafts and all sorts of great stuff, and stuff for people under 21 as well.
Wow, so that's so nice because, being under 21, it's a little hard to find a fun place to go to after about.
I was there
time.
too. I remember my days in college where I was stuck in my dorm room with a bunch of my friends playing role-playing games, and this was having some place like this would have been fantastic.
So you created it for everybody else. How generous. Thank you. I can say on behalf of people under 21. My gosh. Well, I look forward to hopefully coming in sometime, playing some games, trying some crafted nerd drinks.
Yes.
It'd be such an adventure. So thank you so much, David and Laura. After the break, we'll explore more places in Lincoln Park that like to stay local with their products before David and Laura show us what Geek Bar has to offer. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
My name is Fernanda. I'm the wife of a teacher. Budget cuts affected my husband's salary, so I'm picking up some part-time work. We're doing everything we can to make sure our kids eat today. Tomorrow, I just don't know. Fernanda, how'd I do?
Well, I usually fold the underwear first.
I meant the acting, but good to know.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Hello and welcome back to Hoods, Lincoln Park, where we are discussing shops and restaurants that value a local mindset. One restaurant just outside of Lincoln Park is using all local vendors and sustainable ingredients for their Lincoln Park customers. Honey Butter Fried Chicken opened in 2013 and already has a very loyal following due to their choice to stay local and their delicious chicken. Check it out. Honey Butter Fried Chicken is a delicious little counter service restaurant located in Chicago that takes a unique twist on the average Chicago chicken shack. The restaurant opened in 2013 by co-owners and executive chefs Christine Sikowski and Josh Culp, who wanted to turn one of their favorite dishes, fried chicken served with honey butter, into a restaurant all of its own.
Chef and owner, managing partner of Honey Butter Fried Chicken.
The main idea behind their restaurant is to serve beautiful fried chicken with honey butter and a variety of side dishes and desserts directly from local farmers in a welcoming and casual environment.
Sort of approached it from a chef standpoint, from a flavor standpoint. Like, how do we make what we think is the best fried chicken, which is super full flavor. Obviously, the chicken is sourced from a responsible, sustainable place, and yeah, full flavored and well spiced, well cooked, well seasoned, and juicy. And so we sort of playing around with like a bunch of different recipes and sort of came up with its technique.
What's really unique about Honey Butter Fried Chicken is the farm-to-table process.
They start with whole chickens that are humanely raised, antibiotic-free, and cage-free. The chicken is butchered in-house before being brined, battered, fried, and served to customers with a side of delightfully sweet and salty homemade honey butter.
We're not opening frozen bags, of food here. We're actually having cooks make this food, have their hands touch it. They make it and they season it, and that's like really important. The process of cooking, where you get the ingredients from, when they come in, who makes them, how it's served. That cycle is really sort of important to us.
Where we can, we source locally. Where we can, we source organically, sustainably. And just every time we make a decision about an ingredient, we ask ourselves, would we eat this? Do we feel good about this? Is this supporting the community? Is this a good decision for our world?
Just look for it. Just look for it.
Okay.
All right, now that we're back with our guests, David and Laura from Geek Bar, let's talk about what Geek Bar has to offer. So, we obviously have 3 makings of drinks in front of us. What kind of drink is this?
So this is a cocktail called Hyrule. It's a part of a series of cocktails that we have at Geek Bar.
One of my favorites, actually.
Yeah. So this is a mocktail. The series is called It's Dangerous, and it references The Legend of Zelda in the beginning, where it says it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. So this uses lime, a little bit of sugar, cucumber, and then jalapeno. And then in this incarnation, we feature pineapple juice and ginger beer, as opposed to a tequila or mezcal for the alcoholic version, which should be enjoyed in moderation.
Wow, so would you say this is one of the more popular choices?
This
then?
one is done really, really well. And this is nice because it's delicious and there's a lot of flavor to it, and a little bit of cilantro. There's a lot of flavor to it.
It's very pretty. I don't feel like I should be in Chicago winter right now looking at it.
Yeah, this is a fun cocktail. It could be enjoyed during all seasons. So this is one of our more popular cocktails for sure. People like it, and I think people like the allure of it being spicy. At Geek Bar, I found that our guests are very inclined to try new things and to be brave. We've had cocktails with spinach juice and pig's blood was in one of them. It's safe, don't worry, it's totally safe.
Pasteurized.
But we try to use as craft ingredients as we can. This is Fentiman's ginger beer. This is really great, small batch. It's really delicious, and it should calm the spice of the jalapeno for you. So yeah, cheers.
Cheers, guys. How exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so refreshing.
Yeah, so that's one example of a cocktail, but we love when people come in and ask for mocktails, and we'll just make stuff up on the spot.
It's great for your under 21-year-old crowd, right?
It keeps our juices flowing. Literally.
We wanted to create a place where everybody can come, and the central focus was on geek culture. It wasn't necessarily just on the great drinks and the great food, although we have great drinks and great food, because if you're going to be sitting around watching Guardians of the Galaxy or reading your comic book or pulling out your sci-fi novel or whatever it is, and you're going to be there for a little while or hanging out with your friends playing Cards Against Humanity, you want to be able to be in an environment where you have great stuff that you're able to eat and drink. You want to have great stuff around you, and you want to feel like you're at home. So we've got great geek art up on the walls. We've got a comic book library. We have a game library. We want you to feel like this is your home away from home.
That is so neat. So we can definitely check you out on Facebook, look at you up on the internet, just Geek Bar. Check them out, make sure. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today and talking about Geek Bar.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
It was really a great time. Until next time, I'm Jessica New. Thanks for watching Hoods Lincoln Park today. Tune in at 4:30 for the next installment of Hoods Lincoln Park.